Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we're going to make one of my favorite things that I can't really buy in the stores where I am because no one carries it. We're going to make clotted cream. This is so excellent on scones, on biscuits, on toast. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I just can't buy it here, so I have to make it myself. Now, clotted cream is basically cream that's been dehydrated. It only takes one ingredient, but it does take the right ingredient. So what I have here is cream, actual cream, not half and half, not coffee cream, has to be upwards of 30%. I like between 35 and 40% for cream, and the percentage is the milk fat, by the way. So you can't do this with milk. It must be cream. Heavy cream or whipping cream is completely fine. There's really no difference in the finished product, whichever one you use, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But what you can't use is ultra pasteurized. You can use pasteurized. In fact, that's what this is because the person I normally get my cream from doesn't have any this week. So I had to buy some, which is, just the way it goes. So you can buy it at the store. It's totally fine for it to be pasteurized. In fact, it should be pasteurized for food safety. Just make sure it's not ultra pasteurized. The ultra pasteurized version doesn't really do what it's supposed to do while it's in the baking dish baking. So you do want pasteurized, sure, but not ultra pasteurized. Just cream, whipping cream, heavy cream, whatever. As long as it's upwards of 30% milk fat. Mine's 35. So we're good. So what do you have to do? You really only need the cream and a baking dish. So your baking dish should be either a 9 or an 11-inch pan, glass or ceramic. The metal ones can kind of react to the cream a little bit, so use glass or ceramic. And you're literally just gonna pour the cream in there. It should end up a couple inches deep. You can use a square pan, you can use a round pan, it doesn't matter. This is just literally so easy to do. That's literally the entirety of prep. We're done. Now you need to preheat your oven to around 175 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm actually going to use, we have a toaster oven that's not just a toaster oven, it has all kinds of functions, and it has a dehydrate and a ferment. I'm actually going to pick the ferment, but you can bake it in your oven absolutely at around 175 degrees Fahrenheit. You're gonna do that for 12 hours. That's why it's like nighttime now, but I'm popping it in the fermenter overnight because it has to sit, okay? It needs to be at 175 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 hours. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go pop this in. We'll come back. It's literally going to be tomorrow before this is done. This is easy to make. It does take a little time. All right, this has been baking in my toaster oven on dehydrate for just over 12 hours. You can leave it for up to 18. Don't leave it longer than that. It should not burn. Remember, you are only at 175, maybe 180 degrees Fahrenheit. It should not have burned. And it should kind of have this crusty top. Do not mix it. I know it's tempting. I always want to too. I want to grab a spoon and just start the mixing. Don't do it. Leave it alone. We are going to let this sit and cool completely. It has to come all the way down to room temperature. All right, so all the way down to room temperature, and that's going to take a couple of hours. So we are going to walk away, come back when that is 100% cool. All right, this has now cooled to room temperature. It's still not ready. We are going to snap a lid on. All right, we're going to snap a lid on. We're gonna put it in the fridge for 8 hours or overnight. If it seems like we spend a lot of time chilling this, we do, but it's necessary. It's not ready yet. So we're gonna pop it in the fridge overnight, come back tomorrow. All right, it has been overnight in the fridge with our clotted cream. Let's take off the lid and see how it's turned out. So it looks a lot the same. The difference is it's got hard and not liquid now. Had to set in the fridge. So there's actually layers to this. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on camera. Let's see if we can get a better shot of those layers. See, there's actually layers to this. There's a liquid layer and a solid layer. Now that solid layer is what we want. So I'm just going to break that solid layer with a spoon, peel it back. This is the cream, okay? This stuff is that delicious clotted cream. So we're just gonna peel that back, okay? Underneath is basically the whey. We don't need that. So we're just gonna peel back that corner, get ourselves a bowl, and use my spoon to keep my cream from leaving, and then just pour off that bottom layer, okay? Pour that off as best you can. Get that out of there. We don't want that. There we go. We want to get rid of that if we can. Don't discard this liquid. You can use this for baking your bread, making pizza, whatever. Don't discard it. Okay. There we go. Save this. You can use it for baking later. There's still a little bit of that liquid underneath. Okay. Now I need actually a slotted spoon. I'm going to use a slotted spatula and a small bowl. So the whole goal here is I want to take the clotted cream and put it in the bowl without the whey. Okay, I don't want that underlayer. So I poured off most of it, but some of it will still be in here. So what you want to do is scoop that up. Get that into your bowl. Okay, I'm not being too ceremonious about this. I'm just literally scooping up this cream and letting that whey drip off. We don't want that stuff. We just want this nice white cream. We don't want the off-white goobers. The goobers are great. We like the goobers. Goobers are fantastic for other things. They're not clotted cream. Okay, get rid of that. Now we have this. Okay, what do we do with this? This is clotted cream. So there's two things you can do right now. The traditional appearance of clotted cream is to kind of rotate this and leave this crust on top, okay? You can absolutely leave that crust on top. That is more traditional. You might take a knife and scoop that cream up, use a spoon. You can do that. The other thing you can do is actually start mashing that together. I like to mash it together because that crust, now some people remove the crust entirely, but don't. That crust is fantastic. It has this light, buttery flavor in it, and I like it mixed in, okay? So what you can do is just take a few minutes to mix it in, or you can leave it on top and consume it almost separately, but I like to consume it together, and just to make my life easier, I like to use a fork and kind of mash that in. Okay, make sure you have a bowl that's just big enough. You don't want a bowl where a jar is good, a little crock is good. Don't use anything metal. Anything metal tends to react weird with dairy. And this is dairy. So we're just gonna call that good enough. And that is your clotted cream. Why isn't this more popular if it's so delicious? Well, part of the reason is the name. Clotted cream? I mean, come on, man. Clotted cream. But it's also called Devonshire cream. We all just call it clotted cream because that's what it is. But it's also Devonshire cream. So I have a biscuit here. And I'm just going to show you one of the things you can do with your clotted cream. We're just going to take our spoon. Just going to get some clotted cream on there. I like to make sure I've got a little of the crust and a little of the actual cream because it's so good. Okay, you can do that. Then we're gonna get fancy and grab ourselves a little bit of jam. This is raspberry jam. Top that. And it is so easy to make. Now, unless you live in a certain area of England, you're gonna have a hard time finding this in stores. But you can make it like this at home. It is so simple. It's delicious. I'm not sure if it's the butteriest cream I've ever had or the creamiest butter. It's kind of this weird mix, but it's so, so good. And I really recommend you try it, okay? You might not like it. Most people adore it once they've had it. Remember, if you don't like the word clotted, just call it Devonshire cream. But definitely give this a try at home. It is so, so good. That's about it for us today at Andersen Acres. If you've made clotted cream yourself, drop a comment below and let me know how that went. We'll see you tomorrow.